Hi guys, let's figure out how iPhone 7 USB circuit works today. USB circuit of iPhone 7 is mainly controlled by USB-IC. With its connection to the lightning cable by way of dock flex. USB-IC performs accessory identify, data transmission and some other tasks. First, let's take a look at main components on the USB circuit. U4001, USB-IC. It is responsible for connection and identify of accessories. Transmission of USB data, transmission and conversion of digital audio data. J4101, dock connector. It makes possible the connection between USB-IC and dock flex. U0700, CPU. It is responsible for overall control of the USB circuit. U1801, PMU. It is responsible for power supply of the USB circuit. Now let's find out how iPhone 7 USB circuit really works. When the phone is turning on, PMU will send a rail of 3.0 volts and a rail of 1.8 volts power supply to USB-IC. Meantime, PMU will send an activation signal to get the USB-IC activated. Then, by way of the I2C bus, CPU will get USB-IC into power on self-test process and perform as function controller. If the power on self-test process fails, the phone will be stuck on Apple logo. Once the power on self-test process is completed, the USB circuit will get itself prepared in standby mode. With the phone being plugged in, detect pins on USB-IC will get to work. USB-IC will then send an interrupt signal to CPU, so as to inform CPU that there is external accessory waiting to be processed. Meantime, USB-IC will send a host reset signal to PMU. The phone will then get started on USB tasks. First, PMU supplies a rail of external accessory power supply to USB-IC. This rail of power supply will be converted to a voltage range within 2.68 volts to 4.3 volts based on actual situation, and then be outputted from accessory detect pin 1 or pin 2, which should be in accordance with the side the lightning cable is functioning with. With the power supply received, the external accessory will communicate with CPU via USB-IC, so that verification info and device info will be sent to CPU. Once these infos are processed by CPU, and connection of the external accessory is confirmed, by way of I2C bus, CPU will inform USB-IC of the result, so that the data transmission task can be performed later. For data transmitted via USB, like images and videos, they usually start the journey from external accessories. Then the USB-IC by way of the dock connector. USB-IC will process these data and then output to CPU. The output process goes the opposite way as the input process. As for digital audio data transmitted by the phone, they are usually outputted from audio IC to USB-IC, and then outputted by USB cable after processed by USB-IC. The lightning connector only has pins on one side. If the lightning cable is functioning with a side, then the phone will set pins on the lightning connector in accordance with signal pins on a side. Therefore, if there is pin damage on the lightning connector, which results in failure of the lightning cable with one specific side, we can fix it by plugging in the opposite side of the lightning cable. Now let's move to diagnosis and maintenance of the USB circuit. First, replace dock flex and USB cable. Next, run cosmetic inspection of the logic board, and check whether USB circuit relevant area is normal, so as to confirm whether the issue is caused by external causes. If nothing goes wrong, run diode mode measurement of USB circuit relevant pins on the dock connector. If the measured value of one specific pin is abnormal, then check relevant circuit of the pin. If the measured value of all pins is normal, then check working conditions of the USB-IC. 1. Voltages can be measured with the phone turning on. R4701, R4702 1.8 volts. Pages 10211 1.8 volts. C4004 1.8 volts. C4003 3.0 volts. 2. Voltages can be measured with the phone connecting to external devices. TP0406 or TP0407 2.68 volts to 4.3 volts. If there is abnormal voltage measured, check relevant trails of components that bear abnormal voltage. If nothing goes wrong, detach the USB IC from the board and run diode mode measurement of corresponding bonding pad. If the measured value of all bonding pads is normal, then replace the USB IC. If the measured value of one specific bonding pad is abnormal, then check relevant circuit of the pad. Common fault components of the USB circuit. Malfunction of USB IC U4001 will result in issues like stuck on Apple logo, key pre-starting, 120 mA boot current, unable to recognize external accessories, battery drain fast and some other problems. Damage of dock connector J4101 will result in issues like unable to recognize external accessories, data transmission failure, charging on one side only and some other problems. Malfunction of PMU1801 will result in issues like won't charge, not recognized by computer, automatically restart and some other problems. And this is our detailed explanation of how iPhone 7 USB circuit works. Feel free to visit our official website www.driwatechnology.com. See you next course. D.com